Welcome back to SportsBiz Unwrapped podcast, the podcast in which we talk matters sports business. This is episode 2. You're joined with Richie Ekhalie, and we are pleased to have Mr. Richard Ekhalie for the second episode. And in today's episode, we're going to basically be talking about drivers of sports commercialization in Kenya. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube and also follow us on podcasting platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So let's get into it. What drives sports commercialization in Kenya?
Thank you very much for welcoming me again for this wonderful show. Okay, there are very many drivers of commercialization of sports in Kenya, just like in many other countries in the world. And in Kenya, I will start by discussing about media and broadcasting rights, which actually play a crucial part in the commercialization of sports in any country, Kenyan being one of them. And a good example is like when you are talking about the Kenya Premier League, the KPL, we have substantial broadcasting deals that have already been entered into. And one big one is Azam TV, which entered into a deal worth about $9 million US. That was back in the year 2023. Okay. And it's running even up to now. And it has really boosted the finances of the clubs that are already competing in the Kenya Premier League. So that has played a crucial part in it. And we have also seen other broadcasters like SuperSport. We also have Star Times. We also have Bamba Sports that have also come on board in various ways. Even Zuku TV also has a deal with the Kenyan sporting industry, and they have played a crucial role in ensuring that sports is well financed in the country.
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel as viewers, as Kenyan football fans, should have somewhere very easy for them to watch these various games of the league. And Azam TV of late has come to the rescue because now Kenyans are able to watch the match from their comfort of their home, and for the case that they are not able to make the stadium. So I think the TV and broadcasting rights are a game changer in the Kenyan industry. In this way also, scouts from abroad can be able to watch matches and scout the talents and be able to even get transfers abroad. And that's definitely will develop the Kenyan football industry.
So that's just one of the drivers. Another driver probably I would like to talk about is sponsorships. Especially corporate sponsorships. And we can say we are making good strides in the Kenyan market because we have seen various companies come on board to support various sporting genres in Kenya. One good example is Betika and SportPesa and Betway. Actually, most of these betting companies have been very supportive. And Betika has been sponsoring the Kenya Premier League for the longest time. And we just saw the other time, actually it's a couple of days ago, SportPesa came back in a big way with a 10-year deal worth Kenya shillings 1.2 billion. That is going to benefit the Kenyan Premier League. And that's a very big step actually taking the league forward because every team of the 18 clubs in the Kenyan Premier League would be going home with about 2.8 million Kenya shillings per month. So that's a good budget for most of the teams in Kenya, because averagely you'll find that the salary for every club in Kenya, especially averagely per month, will come to about 2 million. So actually with that kind of sponsorship, most clubs in the Kenyan Premier League will be sorted. And that again can be put in perspective with also Azam, which is also putting in something for the Kenyan teams. Betway also has been there We have seen SportPesa and Betway compete, especially in other leagues in Kenya apart from football. So sponsorship, corporate sponsorship is key in driving commercialization of sports in Kenya.
Yeah. As we've seen recently, SportPesa did a very big deal, made a big deal with the league, and I believe it's going to improve the teams because they'll, as you've said, they'll be able to do very many things with this new big money deal.
Yeah, and also we have Safaricom, don't forget. Okay. It has been big supporting Kenya sports. We have also seen ABSA, that's former Barclays, come in sponsoring golf, the magical Kenya golf. And they have managed to put in good money that has been able to make this Kenyan episode be ranked on the World Series, especially for golf. Yeah. So Safaricom is big, ABSA is big, betting companies are very big. So actually in terms of corporate sponsorships, Kenya is started doing very well. Brilliant stuff. Another driver for commercialization of sports in Kenya is actually what we are calling PPP, which is private-public partnerships, where we are having private entities partner with the sporting entities in Kenya, and even the government to come up with, to raise financial facility to develop the sport, especially in infrastructure. We just saw the other day the Kenyan government sign a 44 billion deal with private entities in Kenya for the development of Talanda Sports Complex, which is going to actually be used in hosting the forthcoming AFCON championship. So that is one way PPP is going to help develop infrastructure in sports in Kenya. And infrastructure, as we all know, is key in the commercialization of Kenyan sports, because that has been one area that we have been really doing badly. So lately we have started seeing public-private partnerships come on board, and it means well for Kenyan sporting industry.
Well said. Infrastructure is very important. I personally, as a football fan, I'm so hyped up about this. The new stadium, the Talanta Stadium, which will be a long road. It's going to do so much in terms of promotion of Kenyan football and Kenyan sports, because I also believe even rugby games are going to be there too, right?
Yeah. It will be multi-talent sporting complex.
That's nice.
Yeah, and also remember we have Nyayo Stadium that renovation has been going on as per the requirements of CAF. That has the government has actually put in good funds to upgrade the stadium, and so is to Kasarani. And remember, these two facilities are also being used for CHAN Championship. That is actually starting this week. So basically, it's a very good thing in Kenya, with a lot of attention being put in infrastructure development in Kenya, because that has been an issue whereby you find even many sporting activities in Kenya are finding it very hard to find good stadium or other infrastructural departments that can actually host most of these events.
Yeah, speaking of CHAN, it's happening this weekend, and I was very happy to hear that even the final match is going to be in Kenya, as much as it's going to be in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania in Kasarani Stadium. I've seen the renovations; it looks very nice, very quite modern, especially with the roof. They've added some roof at least to help with the extreme weather conditions like rain and extreme heat. Also, the lighting is good. There are going to be some night matches. I was seeing that. These are things that were not very common in the past, especially with the way the stadiums were not as good. But I'm happy with the development of the infrastructures.
Yeah, and another driver for commercialization in Kenya will be athlete and club commercialization. This is also being witnessed lately. A good example is basketball. We have seen Nairobi City Thunder recently became Kenya's first fully professional club, and paying full-time players the salaries that are commensurate with the market rates. And this has really excited the basketball industry in Kenya. Yeah. So it is now paying and it's being professionally run. The same can be said of a few clubs in the Kenyan Football League that are being run on a professional basis. And that also is going to contribute to improving the standard of sports in Kenya when you commercialize this sporting venture so that players earn fully from the activities and they don't need to depend on any other form of employment. So yes, that is happening, commercialization of sport in Kenya, and that actually is paying entity in Kenya sporting industry.
Yeah. Speaking of City Thunder, I was so happy to see them participate in the BAL, Basketball Africa League. Yes. They did quite well, as much as they didn't win it. Yeah. It was the first Kenyan team to make these continental championships. Yeah.
Yes, and another key company that has come in big to support the Kenyan sporting industry is Kenya Pipeline. Okay. We have seen them support various volleyball teams and the Oilers, and they put in very key budgets, and that has enabled Oilers to perform very well. We have also seen KCB come in big and Cabras come in big in rugby. They put in millions of shillings to support these teams. And these teams also are returning favor by winning the leagues at will because of the finances, because they have realized that through association, they have been able to increase the visibility of their brands. So Kenya Pipeline is big. Cabras Sugar is also big. And we are seeing the trend increasing day by day. Yeah.
It's also good to see that other sports are benefiting from the whole sports commercialization aspects. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we are on the right track, and I know by the end of this year, we'll have seen many bigger things happen in the Kenyan industry.
Definitely. And we will be there for it. So what would you say are the key challenges facing sports commercialization in Kenya?
Unfortunately, as I had earlier said, that Kenya is still young in the area of commercialization. And as expected, there are many challenges. Yeah. I'll just take my time to talk about a few, and especially the main ones. I'll start with the governance and corruption. This is key in Kenya because you realize that there is a very, very big percentage of Kenyans who will not spend well any cash that has come on the way when a corporate sponsor pumps in money into their entity. So corruption checks in at will, and people misappropriate funds that are meant to help the various sporting genres. And you find even players go without salaries when the money has actually been misappropriated by officials. Yeah. We have seen federations misusing money that is meant to help run the leagues. And that plays very badly, especially for the corporate sponsors who are coming in to support these leagues. We have seen even merchandise for teams being misappropriated, and you find teams are going at the end of the game without even new attire. So governance issue also is key because ethically, you'll find many people don't find that it is a very bad thing to misappropriate funds. So those are some of the key areas that need to be looked into, especially as we tend to want to develop the Kenyan sporting industry.
Yeah, you're very right. Corruption has had a very big impact on the sports commercialization. I just hope one day Kenya can be able to fight this corruption so that at least sports can develop, and we should take sports very seriously, because as we said in the first episode, sports business is a multi-million-dollar industry. So yeah, hopefully one day this corruption issue will end so that it's a better place for the sporting world.
Yeah. Another area would be unstable sponsorships also. That has been cited a lot, where you find corporate sponsors come on board, then they don't finish the end of their contract. A good example was SportsPesa when it came in the Kenyan Premier League. Yeah. They had to cut short the sponsorship, but we are glad they have come back, but this time bigger. Yeah. We hope they will stay. So unstable sponsorships has been big. We have seen many other corporates come in and probably move out, citing various reasons. One actually being probably misappropriation of funds. So that ends up affecting the key players in the industry. Yeah. So we should be looking at a situation whereby there's stability in sponsorship that come on board. And I'm happy that we are now witnessing 10-year contracts being signed, like the SportsPesa one, which is the right thing to do at the moment.
Yeah. Sponsorships has been a big issue, but at least now with this big money, multi-million SportsPesa deal for the FKF Premier League, I know we are going to see a lot of improvement in the coming season.
Yeah, and I was happy. 1.2 billion Kenyan shillings is not small money.
Yeah.
So that one shows how the industry is picking up on the seriousness of commercialization.
Yeah.
Another area that I would like to mention about is limited infrastructure and maintenance of the little that we have. Yeah, as I had earlier mentioned, is that we have a big problem, especially in Kenya, when it comes to infrastructure. Infrastructure, I'm talking about stadium and equipment. So you find like even when we wanted to host CHAN, we had to share the event with 2 other East African countries because we don't have enough field or stadium to be able to host a tournament of that nature. Yeah. So that has been a big issue in Kenyan sporting industry and a big problem towards commercialization bid. So we find the PPPs that are coming are going to actually take care of that so that in future we can have more of this. And even now, the few that are there, you'll find that maintenance has been very poor. A good example is Kasarani and Nyayo. They have been there, and for all this time, maintenance has been below par. That's why the government has been forced to invest in a lot of money to bring into at least FIFA required standards. So we just need to improve on that. And probably we are looking at a situation whereby we'll have more investors putting in their money in developing more stadium. Yeah. Like I believe every Kenyan team, soccer team in the Kenyan Premier League should have its own stadium, even if it means a 10,000 seater. It's better so that also they can use these facilities to generate their own revenue. So that's a very big area that the Kenyan sporting industry need to look in, investing into infrastructure for the betterment of the game and also for realizing financial returns.
The stadiums for many years have been quite below par, Kasarani and Nyayo, but at least the renovations, things are looking a bit better. That's why even the CHAN tournament, there's gonna be matches in Nyayo and Kasarani. And at least now, as much as it's been a challenge, as we discussed earlier, the Atalanta Stadium is on the way to be completed. And I also agree with the fact that each team needs its own stadium, just as we see in Europe and other developed countries.
Yeah, and not only in football.
Yeah.
Even in basketball, we need people to develop a multi-sectoral stadium that can host, can accommodate various sporting activities like soccer, basketball, volleyball, tennis, netball. Yeah. So we will be in a better position if we had more investment in these facilities.
Yeah.
Another challenge I'll want to talk about is lack of grassroots entitlement in Kenyan sporting industry, where you find that very few people want to invest into grassroots entitlement for sports. Yeah. And that has created a lot of imbalances whereby you find only marquee events and big events are attracting sponsors. Yeah. But the grassroots is left actually to depend on handouts from politicians and probably a few philanthropists. So we should be looking at a situation whereby there is a determined ideology or a policy by the government and the private sector to pump in more revenue into the grassroots so that to grow talent from the grassroots and develop youth development from the grassroots coming upward so that it can feed into the main leagues in the country.
Yeah, well said. You know, the grassroots is the key to development of players, because once you develop the young talent, let's say the under 10s and 15s, you put proper development, proper commercialization there, we'll see that players are able to develop to become world-class players, and we can even see them play in Europe and in other developed countries. Yeah.
Very, very, very true. So, I think we are on the right direction. It's just a matter of time, especially if we have a lot of in-depth in terms of players, then there's that demand for the industry to actually embrace grassroots development.
So what are the opportunities and the untapped potential in Kenya?
Okay, there are very many opportunities and untapped talent in Kenya. Bearing in mind that Kenya is a young country, that we would be looking at what we call a youthful talent base, which is key in Kenya, because statistics show us that 75% of Kenyans are under 35. That's quite youthful, and that kind of talent is what is required in sports, especially when you are looking at various sports that would require a lot of energy. You realize that in many European countries are aging. So comparatively with Kenya, Kenya has a very young talent which can provide a big field for various sporting activities. Yeah. So that's key, youthful. We have a big base of youthful talent in Kenya.
Yeah, youth is everything, because once you tap into the potential when you are young, it will help you long term in terms of the professional career.
Yeah. Also, we have tourism and global exposure in Kenya. Kenya has a lot of good sites for tourism. Yeah. That's why you find motorsport in Kenya is big, because we attract a lot of tourists from all over the world. Yeah. Even Magical Kenya for golf also is attracting a lot of tourists coming in Kenya. Yeah. So that's one key area that we need to exploit to combine sports and tourism. And that has appeared to be heavy revenue earner for the country.
Yeah, tourism is everything. As we saw, we always see yearly, like the Safari Rally, that attracts a lot of tourists, and also golf. Golf is very popular among the people from developed countries. So we see many of them coming into local or international events here in Kenya, because there's a big golf community in Kenya.
Yeah. The other opportunity we need to exploit in Kenya is emerging sports and diversification, so that there's esports that we need to actually zero in, because that's another opportunity for expansion, and we diversify into very many other sports. We should not just look at the traditional sports that everybody in Kenya know. We should be looking at areas like esports, which is big internationally. So that's one area that we also need to exploit moving forward.
Yeah, that's true. I've also ever participated in one of these esports events. We see the winners eventually getting a lot of money, and they get to play international tournaments, intercontinental tournaments, which they earn a lot. So esports is very important, and
then I will also want to talk about professionalizing of the Kenyan leagues and clubs. That's one big opportunity and area that we need to look at. And I'm glad the Kenyan sports ministry has initiated a task force that is looking at the commercialization of the industry in Kenya, sport industry. I believe the task force should be able to deliver the report soon, so that it's adapted, because where we come from, the background of Kenya is from society, but the review that has been overtaken by the Ministry of Sports is going to actually embed commercialization into the Kenyan law. So once we do that, we professionalize it, it will be easy for many people to come in and invest into the Kenyan sporting industry. Because at the moment, some people are jittery because they think the issue of corruption and misappropriation of funds is big in Kenya. So many corporates are still shying away from putting their money in the industry. But I'm glad the review that is being undertaken by the ministry is going to change that. I also want to talk about the clubs in Kenya. They need to fully go commercial. A club like AFC Leopards and Gor Mahia, it's long overdue. They have been operating as societies for long. I think it's about time they professionalize and went commercial, so that they can attract investors, strategic investors, to pump in money that can take these teams forward. We have seen the same happen in Tanzania. Our neighbors, Yanga and Simba, have actually started the commercialization journey. And we have seen them attracting a lot of investments from all over the continent.
Yeah, well said. When clubs are professional and they go the commercial way, investors are able to put in money, and they can have various developments like the youth teams, even to the senior teams. Also, they can also make their own stadiums. So it's quite a good point you've made there.
Thank you.
So we thank you so much for the subscriptions and the support and the comments. It really goes a long way. And make sure to subscribe again to SportsBiz Unwrapped podcast. We are currently on 74 subscribers. Let's take it to 100, 200 and more. And don't forget also to get us on Spotify podcasts, Apple podcasts and other podcasting platforms. This is Richie Junior, your host for this show, and see you on the next video.